Hey, I'm here for video number 2 for today. I can't believe it. I'm definitely going cray cray, but here we go. This has to do with a tag that the wonderful LeeLeeVSG RAH CREATE and SJ have put together on their latest Google Hangout. If you do not know who the heck they are, then be one of the cool kids and hop on over to LeeLeeVSG's channel and check that out because they're just awesome ladies, all 3 of them. And so jelly they got on a Google Hangout because I would have been like... Anyways, I did chime in, by the way. I was there, but... With those 3 big personalities, there's no more room for anybody else, right? Anyways, here I am for this tag. The tag is my rules for life post-op weight loss surgery. So I just want to put emphasis real quick on my rules. I believe that it's very important to live your life the way you want to live it, because in the end, you only have yourself. True story. So these are my rules, and let's go ahead and go over this tag because there's a lot going on. First thing to talk about is protein. What rules, targets do you have around protein? What was given to you by your team, and what did you set for yourself? So my team, our bariatric surgery center, had said that you need to have at least 75 grams of protein. Whenever you get into maintenance, half of your plate should be protein and a quarter should be starch or some kind of carb, and then another quarter should be vegetables. That is what they said for me. So my goal for myself is between 80 to 100 grams of protein. I noticed whenever I was in the weight loss phase, so weird to say, if I went over 100 grams of protein, then I would see it fluctuate on the scale. It would go up, which, you know, whenever you're trying to lose weight, that's not the direction it should be going. So between 80 to 100 grams of protein, that's what I typically like to do. If I do any less than that, then I feel kind of weak and bad. I don't know why. It's all mental. So anyways, that was my goals. Shakes, bars, no shakes and bars. Let's see about that. Shakes. I was put on a pre-op liquid diet of 3 shakes a day for 2 weeks. So shakes are really not my go-to anymore. Just say that. However, I have tried the newest flavors of the Premier Protein. I did do the caramel, and that one's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. And then I did do the banana cream one, and that one for me needs to be added to like a chocolate or something like that, because I don't know, it was kind of like a mild banana flavor. It wasn't too big on that one, but I do try those. Now I do like the cafe caramel shake from Atkins. I like that one too, but that's only 15 grams of protein. I feel like whenever you're doing the protein shakes, at first, whenever you first get post-op, it's very important to go ahead and have those. And my center had told me that in the first 3 months you should be at least having, like, they want you to like slowly go from like 2 shakes a day down to 1 shake a day, and then eventually they don't want you to have any more shakes. Get away from those completely. Which I have. I just don't really like them as much as I like protein bars. I like to chew my food. So the different protein bars that I absolutely adore is the Fit Crunch bar by Robert Irving. I like the Power Crunch bar. I also like the Quest bars, of course. Those are awesome. And I also like the Oh Yeah bars. Now, the difference between these is that the Power Crunch bar I don't really eat as much as I usually are used to, because they were 1.5 ounces and they're a wafer. They really don't fill me up, and it's about half of my daily intake for the day in carbs. So I try to stay away from those, even though there's been really moments that I'm like, just grab the box, you'll be all right. Anyways, so I stay away from those as much as possible anymore, but they are good. I really like them. And I do the Fit Crunch bar, the snack size by Robert Irving. I really like that. That's like more like a candy bar thing. So whenever it's Shark Week, I typically will eat one of those a day. At nighttime, usually my nighttime snacking. That does have sugar alcohols in it and not that much dietary fiber, but it tastes like a freaking candy bar and it's delicious. And then we've got the Quest bars versus Oh Yeah bars. Okay, so the difference between those taste wise, there's not that many variety of the Oh Yeah bars, and funny enough, the cookies and cream really tastes like the birthday cake bar of the Oh Yeah bar. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but Oh Yeah bars tend to have more sugar alcohols, and the Quest bars have more dietary fiber. So you've kind of got to choose there. I've noticed that whenever I have the sugar alcohol or the Oh Yeah bars, I crave other foods I shouldn't. And then when I have the Quest bars, I don't really have that craving because there's not that many sugar alcohols, dietary fiber. So you kind of got to choose if you want sugar alcohol or dietary fiber. For me, dietary fiber works out better, but I do grab the Oh Yeah bars and believe in that fact. If you are having a craving for a dessert, go to a GNC, grab an Oh Yeah bar, Quest bar, just grab one. It's okay. Get it, eat it, you'll be good. And I really lately have been into the fruit Quest bars. Those are really awesome. So yes, if you want protein bars, go for it. They're great to take on a plane, layovers, which I'm going to be experiencing here soon, and I mean road trips, anywhere. If you know that you're going to be out and about for a couple hours, do not even chance it. Grab a protein bar. And hell, if you're out and about and your family's getting ice cream, go to GNC. Actually, Walmart sells Quest bars now. Go there, grab a protein bar. Get that little fixin', you know? Sorry, excuse me. Any rules around protein to carb ratio or only eating things that have some protein? So, how do I say this? I do have rules around that. I don't have a ratio, I guess you would say. I just know in my head that I can only allow myself 20 net carbs a day. This is me now, okay? Before it was like anything 30 net carbs. So I have those in place and I know I can only fit those. So if I get this one meal and if I get this one type of food and I have 5 meals a day, how am I going to break that up? So for me, whenever I'm looking at something, first look at the protein, because protein is always first. Protein, right? They always drill that into your head. Protein first. So I have to hit my protein goals for the day. Why? Because I want to retain my muscles. I want to be healthy. Then after that is carbs. I go by net carbs. A lot of people don't. But back whenever I was just low carb in it with everybody else, like you're told to do, I guess. I would make sure that anything I ate had 10 net carbs or below in anything I ate, because I wanted to make sure I'm hitting my carb goals and my protein goals. You have to just split them up, you know. That I do believe that have to go in there. Now calories, not really worried about that at all, because I'm low carbon or I'm high fat and whatever, high fat diet. I don't really worry about calories as much anymore. And actually I noticed that if I ate more calories, my weight loss would benefit from that. Funny enough, whenever I was eating 800 calories and I went to 1,000 calories, I went from losing 1.5 pounds a week to 2+ pounds a week. So I just figured out my body like that. You got to play around with it. You got to find out what your body likes, right? It's all about what your body likes. It doesn't matter what the hell your head likes. Water. What are your water targets? What was given by your team? So my team said that I need to have 80 ounces of water a day. 80 ounces of water. That can include shakes, coffee, things like that. Not soup or anything like that, but coffee and shakes. They didn't say you can include that. My goal for myself, I think I hit about 3 days post-op, I hit 60 ounces of water. I did not include shakes. How did I do that? Because I was told that I need to take 2 or 3 sips every 10 minutes. That's what I was told, and that's what I aimed for, and it worked. I was able to take bigger sips, and now I'm able to gulp. I can actually gulp. I can get down a bottle of water within 5 minutes. So it doesn't take me that long to get in water. And my goal whenever I was finally able to hit 60 and get more in, was half my body weight in water. Water has so many benefits to it, so many benefits. So look at it as your wrinkle reducer. Look at it as your skin complexion assistant. Get in your water. And it helps your muscles too. So it's going to help you recover and just be healthier. So I always say getting water healthy. I think half your body weight in water is very healthy. And now I'm drinking like over 100 ounces of water because I can't get over my water obsession or my liquids, period. I do include Powerade Zero in that. I do not include shakes and stuff like that in that target. So how do you structure water intake throughout the day? I carry water everywhere I go. I do not have any rules about how much water before I can go to bed or targets or anything like that, because I've become so accustomed to it now that I drink a lot of water. And whenever you are low carbing, and this is one of the things I want to say, you are really thirsty. Really thirsty. I'm constantly thirsty. So yeah. So I don't have any rules about you need to have this much water before you go to bed or anything like that. There's some days that I only hit 60 ounces of water. There's some days I only hit 60 ounces of water. I think that's the littlest amount that I've ever had. 60 ounces of water a day. So that's how I do it now. I just carry it everywhere. It's crazy. And my family is the same way. Grab a bottle of water before we leave because we're going to be out for a minute. Let's see. Rules, vitamins. What vitamins, requirements, rules were you given by your team? And do you have any additional ones that you have added to yourself? Okay. So I was told that I need to take a multivitamin. I was not told, at that time it was the Bariatric Advantage vitamins, which are really good. Then they went up in price and my place stopped selling them and they started selling this other kind, but it had a lot of niacin in it or something. So I don't like the way it made me feel. So I didn't get it, even though it was cheaper. So I went to Flintstone Vitamins and realized that Flintstone Vitamins only had like 25% of what I was getting in the Bariatric Advantage. And I just didn't feel as healthy. So I went to the Celebrate Vitamin, multivitamin with iron in it. So because it has iron in it, my bariatric center required that I did take 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams of calcium citrate, not just calcium chews, calcium citrate. I had to take that a day as well. So they only said the multivitamin with iron, and you need to take iron, and then they said you need to take the calcium citrate. They did give me a big sheet of how much on every single type of vitamin I should be taking, but yeah, because I was taking the Bariatric Advantage, I just assumed that they were approved by my bariatric place. So anyways, I do the Celebrate with 45 milligrams of iron. And then I also take omeprazole. I have to take that now because I have GERD. Good for me. I never had it before. Actually, I had it whenever I was pregnant with my daughter, but yeah, heartburn on fleek. So I take omeprazole as well. And because I switched from Bariatric Advantage over to Celebrate, my biotin isn't as high as it was. So I do take a biotin as well. I take about 2,000, I think it's milligrams. Yeah, 2,000 milligrams of that as well. So in the morning, this is my schedule because that's on there too, spacing them out. Because I have iron inside of my Celebrate or my multivitamin, I have to take my calcium 2 hours after. 2 hours after or 2 hours before, it'll F with it. So, yeah. So I take, in the morning, I take half my Celebrate vitamin. I take half a multivitamin. I take my omeprazole. I take my biotin. And I take a probiotic. That's one thing that I did add as a probiotic. I take those probiotic pearls that you can find at Walmart. They're very, very tiny. And so yeah, I take that in the morning. Then at 9 a.m. I take my calcium citrate, which is Citracal Slow Release. It's 1,200, is it milligrams or mcgs? Milligrams, 1,200 milligrams for 2 pills. So I take one of the pills at 9 a.m. And then at 3 p.m. I take the other pill. And then when I get home, I take the other, which is like at 5 or 6, I take my Celebrate vitamin, my other half of my Celebrate vitamin, and that's what I take during the day. So that's what that's about. And then it asks, what about blood work and frequency? They required, I mean, I don't have to go back and see them, my bariatric center, for another year. But every time I went there, whenever I went there for my 2-week, and then I went there for my 3 months, and then I went there for 6 months, and then I went there for 1 year, they took all of my blood work at that time. The last time I got blood work done was a year ago, or not a year ago, at my 1 year appointment, and it all came back great. They said, you're healthy as a horse. That sounds great to me. So then the next thing is exercise. The dreaded exercise, right? What rules around exercise were you given by your team? I was not given any. Besides, you cannot exercise until after 6 weeks. That was it. That's all I was given. No, hey, you really should be doing these kind of exercises, blah, blah, blah. They just said, we wish you would exercise. That's it. And the rules that I've set for myself and type and how often, let's see. Because let's see, how do I say this? Exercise is really good for me for cardiac reasons, right? I feel like it's really good in that aspect. And yes, if I want to tone something up, I think with all the skin that I have, I don't think, I mean, you would be able to see like my arms or whatever, you can kind of see that. But other than that, I mean, I have my stomach, you'll never see abs or anything like that. So I do it for myself, and I typically like only to do 20-minute videos, and I like the Jillian Michaels 30-day shred because it's circuit training. It's cardio, it's strength, and it's abs workout. So I like the full body effect on that. If I just feel like I want to go work out or something like that, I feel like, okay, I need to burn off something, I don't know, I haven't done shit all week and I want to take it easy, then I'll do the elliptical for 20 to 30 minutes, or I'll go walking around the block for 20 minutes. I really like waking up super early, like before sunrise, and I like walking until sunrise. Like that's one of my things that I really, really like doing. Lately I've been on the treadmill and I've been running, and that's kind of scary for me because I'm so imbalanced. I'm just like all over the place. Usually when I run with my dog, she like runs in front of me. So I'm like trying to like hop over her and stuff like that. She's pretty big. So yeah, I do it I like to work out at least 3 times a week. And I don't like to work out back-to-back days because I do have lower back issues. Back-to-back tends to stress me out. And whenever I do stress out, my lower back hurts. So anyways, that's my rules on that. Food and tracking. What are your rules about your daily calorie intake, portion size, macros, and tracking? And treats. Treats is on there. So rules about daily calorie intake. I am right now eating anywhere between 16 to 1800 calories a day, and I know a lot of people are like, well, 16 to 1800 calories because my fat intake's really high. My macros are set at 1600 calories. 75% is fat, 20% is protein, and 5% is carbs. Now, I might go over my carbs. You'll see, because they say like 20 grams of carbs on there. I might go over my carbs because I do minus my fiber from my carbs. So sometimes you'll see on there, you'll be like, oh my gosh, she's eating 36 grams of carbs today. But yeah, I did have like 20 something grams of fiber as well. So really I'm at a net, you know? Anyways, so that is my calorie intake and my macros. That kind of addresses that. I feel like if you're going to do low carb, then you probably should stick around between 40 to 50 grams of carbs. You can say net carbs, whatever you want. 40 to 50 grams of carbs if you're going to do low carb. That's what I believe. And that's what I was doing whenever I was doing low carb and I didn't switch over to the ketogenic. I'm more ketogenic now, lifestyle. So when I was doing just low carb in the losing the weight phase, I'm in the more get the healthy phase. But lose the weight phase, I was doing low carb and I was having anywhere between 30 to 40 grams of carbs a day, and I felt great and was going great. And my calories were set at 1,400 calories at that time. I do not typically go underneath 1,300 calories anymore. That's just really hard for me to do anymore. So, rules about portion size. I have 5 meals a day and I have typically half a cup a day. Somebody had said something about this the other day. They were like, wait, if you're weighing your food, weight is different than measuring your food. You see what I'm saying? So something could weigh 4 ounces, right? 4 ounces of food. You could put into a half a cup thing and it'll be more than a half a cup. So I feel like I don't really, the only way I actually like really weigh my food is if I'm dealing with like butter, and it says 14 grams, then I'll like do the grams on there. But whenever I'm looking at like, oh, like a casserole or something, I'll put it in like a half cup and then I'll be like, okay, this is how much I can eat. And the reasons for that is because I tend to be an overeater. So I think controlling my portions that way is really good for me. And that way I'm not stretching out my sleeve. And that's the one thing that I've been afraid of, is that I have heard that you can stretch out your sleeve if you consistently eat larger portions than what you actually need. And I'm one of those people that I like to finish what's on my plate. I know that's not healthy. I understand that. You should probably learn your full trigger, and I understand that. But because I only allow myself half a cup at each serving or each meal, half a cup at each meal, whenever I do have those days and I go eat out and, I don't have a half a cup or something like that I need to look at, my body stops at a half a cup. I mean, it doesn't allow me to keep going because I'm afraid, because you're stretching out your sleeve if you consistently eat bigger portions. If that wasn't the case, then let's just say this. If that wasn't the case, and this is what I've been looking at, if stretching your sleeve is just not possible, right? If people are like, you can't stretch out your sleeve, right? There's no way you can do that. The one thing that I've noticed that some people will be like a year out and they can only fit at 4 ounces, and they'll be at 2 years out and can fit in a cup. And I can actually fit in 6 ounces some days. So if I can't stretch out my sleeve, why is that changing? My body, I'm done growing, and that was always my theory. So that's why it was been like a half a cup, that's it. 5 times a day. Eventually I'm getting in 2.5 cups of food a day. I mean, that's not that bad, right? So that's what I do. I don't weigh my food as much. If I'm dealing with like butter or oils or something like that, it says grams instead of being like, if it says grams, then I'll do it that way. Let's see. Macros, carbs, protein, fat. I went over that. I look at my fat is first in line on MyFitnessPal, and then it's protein, and then it's carbs and fiber. That's how I have MyFitnessPal set up. Do you have any rules around tracking and etc.? My rules about tracking, because I'm one of those people, I think that you do need to track your food because you really, really never know. You never know how much you're really eating, or was that really a good choice, or where does this all end up at the end of the day? I think it's really important to track your food. Now, with that said, if you're like me and you don't like people telling you what you can and cannot eat, or hell, even if it's yourself and you're saying like, well, I'm going to eat this at lunch. I typically am like, I said I was going to eat that and then I won't eat it because I said I have to eat that. I don't like being told what I'm going to eat. I like setting myself up, like you're going to eat this every day, blah, blah, blah. But I don't like being like, okay, I didn't pack my lunch today, so I'm going to eat this instead. And then I'll be like, no, I want this instead. So when you're tracking, track the moment that you eat it. Unless you know for sure you love that meal every day. And then you're just like, okay, I'm going to eat that every day. Does that make sense? Track it when you eat it. Yeah. Do you have any rules around treats? Treats. My rule for treats is finding healthier alternatives. Go out there. There's tons of recipes out there that'll show you how to. I mean, the other day I made a ketogenic, low carb berry crumble cake thing, and that was amazing. It was really good. I had to throw the rest of it away because I caught myself going back for more than I should. Like replacing every meal with that berry crumble cake, that's not good. Anyway, so either do that, or if you find yourself feeling deprived and you're like, man, this sucks. I don't want to just low carb for the rest of my life, and I don't want to, let's say you're like, I love the low carb lifestyle, but I do miss having pasta, or I do miss having bread. Eventually those will go away. But if you're just like, no, I need that in my life, or I want to be able to go out for chips and salsa or drinks, give yourself a day. Give yourself a day to have that stuff. Be it on a Saturday or Sunday. Typically the day of the week that you go and hang out. And give yourself that. I like to give myself that one day to indulge in whatever the hell I want that day. Why? Because it helps me mentally. I don't feel like I'm deprived. And I feel like I've worked my ass off all freaking week. I weighed in that day, because that's now your new weigh-in day, the day that you're going to cheat. And then I worked myself out, like I worked so much, I'm going to have this one day. I know that might be very unhealthy to some, but it really does help me mentally, and it's helped me along my journey. So anyways, that was it, and I'm 26 minutes in, so sorry, but not sorry. So I'm going to tag a couple of people. My tags are VSG Brit. I would love to hear your knowledge about what you're doing. Mini Me in Tennessee, because I love her accent and I just love hearing her, period. Andrea VSG, VSG, I love her. She's so great. Paris D VSG, because she's my wife, and she's awesome. Sleeved Mel 2015. I know she's going through some stuff right now, so I don't know if she'll be able to watch this and watch my videos anymore. But I'm tagging her as well. And if I didn't tag you, hell, do it. Why not? I will put the questions down below in the description. You can copy paste them like I did to something else, and yeah, go over what your rules are post-op weight loss surgery. Talk to you later. Bye.